Okay. uh, Hi, folks. Okay, so we're going to talk about porting version 2 Saracenia plugins to version 3. So version 3 is called sr3. Um, First, as a warning to people who are using version 2, uh, sorry, if you're new to Saracenia, you're better off working with version 3 from the start. This is going to mention all kinds of things about version 2, all the changes between version 2 and version 3, and there's quite a lot of them. And you probably don't want to learn the version 2 way of doing things. So this is only useful to people who need to port things from version 2 to version 3. If you're just starting off and you're new, then you should go straight to the Jupyter Notebooks pages and learn about version 3 from scratch and not be confused by the version 2 stuff. So there's a sample version 3 plugin here. I guess I could open it as a general rule, but the thing is I won't remember. Okay, let's just do that and keep my notes here. So version 3, if you look at, this is a plugin from version 3. It looks like normal Python code. It uses logging in the normal way. It inherits from FlowCB. You get some options in there. You're subclassing to get this, to have these callbacks. FlowCB stands for flow callback. The central algorithm in Saracenia is the flow. And to have custom code called at various points in the processing of messages, you have callbacks. So hence the flow callback class. And the redesign of how the callbacks work is a major part of what went into version 3. It's quite different from version 2. So that's what we're going to talk about. So obviously the first thing to go over is the file placement. So I'll go into config Sarah. So there we have, let's look, airnow.conf. So this is going to work pretty much unchanged except for the do poll. So we can, but where the config files go is they go into sr3 poll, and we'll say airnow. Yeah. What? Oh. Okay. So now we'll go into our plugins. And there's poll, airnow, HTTP. There we go. This is a version 2 plugin. If we do sr status, sr poll foreground, airnow. That's what happens. So you see it's going to there. It's making posts about stuff. Okay, so now we got to take this to version 3. We take that and we put it into plugins / airnow. Okay, sr3 status. Okay, so it's a bug. The configuration is there, but it's not showing it. If I do sr3 foreground pole / airnow, it's not going to do anything rational because the do pole was ignored. So let's go into there and we'll go to the end. So down here, mapping entry points. So this is a do pole. So we got a do pole to gather. Well, that's not right. Should be do pole to pole. Okay, well anyways, it's a pole, it's not a gather. I'll fix that. Pole, we're going to change that to, oh, anyways, it's going to be flow callback. airnow. Try that. airnow.py. So we'll do that. Okay, now let's go back to the beginning. Oh, well, we can try running it again. And it's not going to work. Awful things will happen. airnow polar is not defined. Why is that a problem? Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. What will work without change? Pretty much all that stuff will work without change. Then you have to start changing the class from what it used to be. So they're classed from Sarracenia. So okay, let's go here. Import datetime. Import logging. I just put them in alphabetical order for taste reasons. So let's do this. Okay. So we've affected that one. Our Pythonic. So the self.plugin crap at the end. That's now gone. So that's the second point. A third point. Yeah, there. So the in imports. So you see here, there's some extra imports. The imports work normally. Okay, they're already there, so I don't need any, but I removed those. Standard logging. So the logger is there. We need to add this, which will be normal for Python programmers. Then we change %s parent.logger by logger. And we don't need logger equals logger anywhere. Okay, so now the logging is fixed. Now init takes options. So the options is the parsed version of the config file, and we have a convention self.o is equal to options, so that in the rest of the class you can refer to self.o. So in the old v2 stuff, it was parent.something. So we basically have to change parent dot backslash dot to self.o backslash dot g. So now it's all self.o. Perfect. Okay, now, okay, these things, yeah, and so some of the things changed names. One thing is rel path, for example. It comes up a lot. No, it's not there. Anyways, messages are Python dictionaries. So if you see parent.msg, okay, self.o.msg, okay, all of that is going to change, but let's just go a little later because it's all going to go away. Messages are Python dictionaries, so if I was just doing this blindly, I'll just do one so you see. So base URL, well, that's actually, oh no, so that would be, say, oh no, it's too weird. We'll just wait a bit. Okay, so plugins operate on batches of messages. Yes, so that is a thing. We would go here and we would say new incoming is equal to that. And then you would make a new message. So the post would become new incoming dot append m. Say m is the new message. And then we would have to, whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is really weirdly spaced, but anyways, let's say it's there. Return new incoming. So let's see if that matches. It does not. So I'll go one left. Okay. So append, but you have to build the message. So how do you build the message? Well, you start with, say, m equals that. Do you have a file name though? Okay, well let's do that. So what is the file name? File name is file name. Okay. Self.o, that's going to be the same all the time. And then there's this thing lstat. We need a stat thing. Okay, well let's put this down at the bottom because we need to build the lstat. So now do they show building the lstat? SFTP attribute, there we go. So I'll call it ST then. ST is equal to, so that is a stat record. So we'll call that ST. Okay, so st.m stm time is equal to so m time is a date time, so you can use timestamp to convert that. Okay. st a time, we'll make it the same as st.stm time, size equal to content length. Here it is. Okay. So the base URL you get from the settings. So you don't need that. You don't need that. The new file, we're already passing to the file from data constructor. You don't need that. That is the checksum string. That is already going to be assigned automatically by the constructor or the factory, the from file data factory, as the part string will also. The two we don't need. So none of these things have been built because we don't need them. None of these have been built because we don't need them. There we go. So that's it. M time and last poll, are they still built? Where's last poll? Last poll is there. M time is there. So this printout should still work. Why are we doing it? Well, I'm gonna get rid of 2 of these at least. Okay. Now the post, we don't need the post. We're not building any of those fields. We're returning the gathered messages. So there you go. Okay. The other thing is, so this is actually poll. The entry point name is wrong in that documentation. So we'll just change that to that. Parent is not an argument. Okay, now VIP handling, VIP processing. So in V2, you had to check if you had the VIP. In V3, you pick, the poll is only run when you have the VIP. So you can get rid of the has VIP check. And since you don't call has VIP, you don't need has VIP itself. So yeah, you do have to get the URL, and the URL, where's base URL used? Okay, so you don't need base URL. These are commented, so I'm going to assume they were from some other poll and just not included. Okay, so that's it. Options not defined. Why? Oh, yes. There we go. So it's pulling it down. Paramico is not defined. Yes, of course. Import Paramico. Saracenia is not defined. Of course. Are we there yet? Okay, so we have ported the plugin. So there you go. So if I take airnow.py and let's take the original one. So summary. So this is the version 2 one. It was interpreting from object. It had to worry about has VIP because it would run when you had the VIP and when you didn't, which now you don't have to worry about. You had to you had this parent argument, which was all kinds of weird things, but the options are replaced by self.o, which is now set here, and so you can refer to self.o whenever you need to check settings. The logger is now done in the traditional Python logging way, so you don't need to do anything special, where in version 2 you had to use parent.logger. Um, you don't need to set any variables in the messages. Instead, you just call the constructor, and you can initialize like metadata, a stat record. This is the thing that's returned by the stat call. Um, and it's best to set the size and the M time, because if you're winnowing and when they're doing SARA retrieves and stuff, they use the M time and the size to decide whether they want to download or not. And then you just append that to the list of messages that you created as your poll, and then you return the entire list. And yeah, and you don't have any weird stuff at the end. It's just straightforward Python. So this would be, I should change the comment here, flow callback. This is actually going to be included in, okay, flow callback, Saracenia, flow CB, poll, airnow, oops, I should say poll.airnow, and that, because it follows convention, you can just do this. Okay, so this usage is based on it being in the Saracenia built-in package. Okay, used outside the package could be flow callback airnow dot airnow used within as a built-in plugin to v3. So yeah, the callback thing, you can call back poll.airnow. It's nice and simple as a way to refer to it. So that's it. That's what you need to do.